People, it's great to see you every year, honestly. Okay. Avoiding the paragraph trap. Who would like to ask the first question? Oh, Maddie, perfect, thank you. Oh, if you can just, I know, just say who you are, where you're from.
Hi, I'm called Maddie, and I work for a company called Petros. I'm from the UK. This is a question for both speakers. I know that the use of AI was mentioned in relation to potential for abuse, so I wanted to sort of get both your insights on that and how we kind of counter the risks that AI pose for women specifically.
As we are all aware that this is very new to us, we are still training the women with the basics. AI is still a step further away from us. But there are some training programs which are going on, and the conference feels that it must be imparted right from the initial stages of formation. So we are just beginning, it's a small step.
Well, not sure if I can give an answer from my perspective, but epidemiological data, to collect data is always a problem on issues like sexual violence in the various and gender violence in its various expressions. We know that there is underestimation. We know that there are cultural and legal barriers. We know that there is victim blaming. So a way to try to ensure a better, more validated collection of data can be to improve, to promote general education from the very beginning, also not only within a religious career, but also at school. So the lack of sexual education and affective education at school, for instance, is a very important aspect on which we could work to try to make people more aware of the right and the obligation to stand up when there is violence involved.
Thank you. Who might? Oh, yes, okay. Sorry, we know each other very well. Julie, do you want to tell anyone who you are? Maybe?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Julie Ashbellis. I am the Safeguarding and Professional Conduct Coordinator for the Jesuits in Britain. What I would like to ask the panel is, how do you think we can stem the reaction and influence of the Andrew Tate effect, which seems to be rippling across the world?
Advertisement. Okay. Sorry, because British pronunciation for me sometimes is too quick. Well, there are luckily some campaigns increasingly which are putting some limits to the form of explicit sexualization and pornification, which is represented in advertisement, and also on the kind of body norms which are represented. For instance, I'm thinking of something more largely, widely regarding women body, female body, the norm of the body size. So the fact that there is the there was this law limiting the body size not under 40 body size for models represented of femininity represented in advertisement. So this kind of regulatory proposals cannot put some limits, but I think that the more important aspect is to raise awareness and skills in the audience, in the general population, and in younger people, more specifically, to be able to deconstruct the advertising and to be able to understand which is the message included. So I'm thinking of the fat liberation movement, for instance, or other kind of experiences, activist experiences who are trying to change and to train people to adopt different frames to interpret cultural dominant representation like the one portrayed in advertisement.
Thank you. Jacinta.
Good afternoon. I'm Daphne Zapata from Peru, from University Antonio Ruiz de Montoya. A question for Raffaella. You have talked about the patriarchal system, and in my experience, usually in this topic, we are women working with women, especially with victims. How we can work with or include the men in this process? Because the role of the men is important to change the situation too. How to commitment them to change the patriarchal system if consider that they have the privilege in this system.
Thank you for the question. And that is, I think, raising a very important point because, well, the focus of this conference is on women of faith and women of strength, but I think that the other side is how men can be men of faith and men of strength and be part of this process. I worked for many years of my career on men experiences, or male experiences of, well, gender and sexuality. So I'm familiar with this topic. There are signals of change in the involvement of men in, we can say, pro-feminist or progressive movements and social movements and activism. In the younger generation, as well as in those generations who lived the experience of the sexual revolutions and the counter-revolution and so on. But it is interesting also the fact that there are new forms of education, socialization to alternative models of masculinity, like influencers. There is a new generation of male influencers who are are deconstructing and subverting traditional models of masculinity. So I think this is a very important part of the mission, because if we work only on the side of solidarity and cooperation and work of women on women, with women, for women, by women, I think it's just a part of the game, but the other part is to involve actively men in this mission, because gender is a system of relations, so is a matter of relation between two positionality, and the power imbalance should be changed so that there is a real egalitarian cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got, and then we'll go. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Ballina. I'm from the Parramatta Diocese as an inaugural member of the Safeguarding Council. I'm also an advocacy producer internationally. You both talked about systems and structural abuse. And within it, you've said how in the Bible, women have always stood up to some kind of system, some kind of structure, policy, legislation, authority. With the topics that you spoke about, especially on institutional abuse, which runs medical misogyny in different legislations and different policy, what are the top things the church can do to amplify those voices into mainstream? Because the patriarchal system operates on mainstream. And so for us to actually amplify it, what would be a tip for you that the church could do? And while you're thinking about that, Tina, can I just answer the AI question? In AI with the algorithms, each of the nodes is actually centered towards programming. So when a node comes in and it says that you're a specific gender, culture, it gives a command to treat you in a certain way. So we have that in institutional abuse. So if we were to do something about it, we would put some kind of legislative laws around how we treat those particular algorithms. So,
okay, thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Nimala, would you like to answer that question? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I think I'm very strongly convinced about my personal and spiritual experiences during the Synod on Synodality, which invites for shared responsibility, collaboration and network. And a space like this, where men and women are seated together, reflecting and discernment, this is one of the very strong ways of inviting leaderships, particularly church leadership and society leadership, to come together to reflect. It's not just about, pointing a finger at this one or that one. Each of us have to be responsible persons because we have a duty to care. It's not reactive, but it's proactive. So awareness is the first step, and the more we share, and there are very beautiful ways as students you learn, is about storytelling, telling our stories, because it's not easy to talk these things straight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a question here as well. Thank you.
I'm Sister Marjolein from the Netherlands. I have a question for Sister Nimala. What would you suggest to raise awareness in religious communities? In it?
I think firstly, the education among religious communities begins in the convent kitchens and in our community meetings. It's as I mentioned in my talk, we are there in every field reaching out, be it war or violence. Women are always in the forefront. But when it comes to sharing our stories, we just remain silent. So it is for leaders, those in leadership, all kinds of leadership, or where you have students going out from here, from all parts of the world, where they come together to create this awareness to religious women. And that must begin as part of our study, training, in the formation itself. It is too late to speak about it. I mean, it's never too late, but my understanding as a general is that we must begin at the very initial stages of formation, create safe spaces, and help them to understand that we are here for you on this journey. Jokes apart, as I thought after my address, oh my God, I was joking with someone and said, should I take the flight back to India or somewhere else? And the response of the person is, we are with you. So that's the kind of, strength and courage and comfort we need to give to our young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've only got less than 5 minutes, so Jane, where are you with the microphone? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm Maria from Indonesia. I want to ask the Sister Nimala. You have made that book that with the grievance mechanism. My question is, what about the implementation? Because in our experiences, when the perpetrators is someone powerful and useful to the congregation or to the institution, to the church, sometimes the implementation is different. Do you have some difficult experiences? Maybe you can share to us. Thank you.
Thank you. When we began this grievance redressal cell, we experienced a lot of teething problems because this is new for women, that there is going to be a redressal cell, and therefore one of the first things that we needed to do is to speak to major superiors. And since I am in that role myself, it became a little easy for me as being president of the conference, because no one likes to share the story of your community to anyone outside. But we had to build that confidence and share with them the purpose of this. I am not a part of that cell, though the final recommendations come to me. It is totally outside of me, and I'm not privy to anything. And I'm very much happy about that and respect that space, because there are legal experts, there are lay persons, and there is constant monitoring done. There have been instances where sisters have informed their major superiors and shared with the cell. But this takes a lot of time. I can't say that it's all perfect. It is a journey which began in 2022, and you can see the vast country that we are. We've not been able to reach to every nook and corner. It's going to take a while. But the journey has begun. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, we have one here as well. Sorry. Okay, Mark. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm Mark Williams, and I'm a clerical abuse survivor and also a special advisor to the Archdiocese of Newark. And I, first of all, want to thank you both for your courage. It's extraordinary presentations. My question is directed at Sister Nimala about the Synod on Synodality. And thank you for talking about Francis and why is there a deafening silence. I was very heartened to read the final document of the Synod on Synodality with special attention to the abuse crisis. And there were 3 key areas of conclusion. One was clericalism, second was structural change, and the third was healing of victims and survivors. So and Cardinal Prevost was in the room before he became Pope Leo. So my question is, how do we around the world keep the Synod on Synodality alive with specific attention to that area of the sexual abuse crisis?
Thank you so much for your question. I think one of the important tools that Synod on Synodality gave us is conversation in the spirit. Because from my experience being present there, at some of the weeks I was the lone woman among all the big shots from around the world. But the spirit was very good, where I could speak my heart out. And I think that tool of discernment, of listening, this is fundamental to Synod on Synodality, the aspect of listening. We may not be able to do much, the doing part comes later. But the fundamental focus that we all need, at least those of us who are here in our respective fields, we can't change others, but we can do it ourselves, is to begin by listening to the one sitting next to me, to listen to their stories, and to hold them sacred in our hearts, and say, what did we hear? Where do I go from here? I think for me, listening is the most important aspect.
Nimala, thank you very much. We've got one more question, I think. Yep.
Good afternoon. First of all, I am Nij from the Philippines. And first of all, I would like to thank our speakers for the very insightful, for the insights that they have shared with all of us. And my question is directed to Madam Raffaella. It's really interesting in your slides. I noticed the memes that you have put there, the blue pill, the red pill. As a young person, it's very familiar for me. I see these in my social media feed. And it got us thinking about how male chauvinism has become a trend among a number of young men, right? Young boys. They seem to be attracted to Andrew Tate. I don't know if you've heard of him, or those similar types of influencers who would want to glorify masculinity and put femininity in its quote-unquote its place of being subservient, of being you as the alpha male, the women should serve you. Where did this trend among the young men, where do you think did this trend among the young men come about, or was it already there ever since? Because it seemed to be quite new to me. In recent years, these influencers started popping out and then started talking about this backward thinking. Is there a sociological answer, or in social science, is there an answer to why this has come up? And what can the church do to prevent this kind of trend to infiltrate in our seminaries, to infiltrate in among our youth groups, and keep this women of faith, women of strength in our social in the church?
Well, just to give a quick contextualization, this manosphere phenomena is increasing and has been interpreted mainly as a backlash process of reaction, resentment for losing privilege for the younger generation of men who feel that they are becoming they self-represent as the weaker part of society. That is this representation of a feminized and feminist and feminized society, which is reversing the power imbalance in favor of women. And because of that, there is a very misogynistic construction. I don't want to give specific examples because are really very hard also to mention, but there is a totally depersonalized, dehumanized representation of women, and on the other hand, the idea that red-pilled men regained control over their life and over their role in society. I think that there could be the risk that this kind of misogynistic culture can penetrate also religious context, especially when I think about need for young men maybe to find again a place, a recognized place in society. But on the other hand, I think that, well, conferences like this one, but all the testimonies you gave about your communities showed clearly that there is an anti-misogynistic culture widespread within the church, and so this is a possible antidote. The problem is that there is a very pervasive dropping of these micro pills of violent culture, and very often it's not so clear how to recognize it. If you have seen the TV series Adolescent on Netflix, this was a very good example of how in a very common adolescent life, this kind of very violent aspect can radicalize very quickly and arrive to a bad outcome.
Thank you. I think do we have one question?
Thank you so much.
It has to be the last one. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pradesh I'm a student of licentiate in IADC. Thank you for your beautiful presentation. As you said, silence is one of the biggest factor of perpetuating this abuse in our society and in our religious life, and also about objectification of human body. Many are silent, and in the religious congregations we feel that why should I speak out? Now, for us, we are all, most of us are clerics. What could be your suggestion to break this silence from the part of priest, from clerics? What could be your suggestion to practice in our day-to-day life? Mainly to the sister, I ask this question. Yeah, it's to you.
Thank you. One of the things based on synodality, I think shared power, shared responsibility, and respect for the other, both sides, between men and women. The shared responsibility and creating the divide of power will not help this relationship. It has to be a collaborative journey, and both men and women in the church have to understand that we are all people of God, and our aim is to make the kingdom of God known. And the more we understand that there is no hierarchy, but a shared leadership, a circular flow of leadership, I think with that change of mindset to begin with, change of attitudes, will definitely create a new pathway for this shared leadership, shared responsibility to accompany our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Nimala. On that note, can we say thank you again to both our speakers? Thank you.